Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Tiana here once again, and I'm back for the Maxi Toys, and welcome back to my play of Mario Party DS for the Nintendo DS. So, previously that we managed to actually showcase all of these tons of modes in the minigame mode. Granted, there are 6 modes in total during the minigame mode. And today for this episode, we're about to continue on, and hopefully the next couple of videos or something, because today I'm actually going to be trying to actually get this Let's Play finished and done until during the next month or onwards. Now I'm actually going to be tackling through the next Mario Party game, or some other toys will decide to do the next Mario Party game installment will be Mario Party Star Rush from 2017. So yeah, so today we're about to be doing puzzle mode, and even then we actually have 2 familiar modes, which are called Puzzle Collection and Triangle Twister. So first off, we have Puzzle Collection. Now, if you're probably familiar with something very peculiar with this particular mode, is that you know these little icons, they look very familiar to you. Well, we have some classic Mario Party puzzle games. So we have Mario's Puzzle Party from Mario Party 3, Bobomb Breakers from Mario Party 4, Peace Out from Mario Party 5, Block Star in Mario Party 6, and Stick and Spin for Mario Party 7. So for the most part, they are basically just a little bit of a, you know. Okay, so first off we have is Mario's Puzzle Party. Connect 2 or more of the similar block type to clear them. Use swarms that occasionally fall to squish the blocks down to half size. Alright, seems very standard for something more almost related to a Tetris game. The next block to fall is displayed on the right of the screen. Stack the blocks strategically. So, if you played Mario Party 3 version before, in this case the Mario's Puzzle Party from Mario Party 3, but even then though, that I think this mode, or this particular variation of this minigame sort of kind of reminds me of something related to the minigame which is called Mario's Puzzle Party Pro, which is essentially the single-player version of this entirety of the Mario's Puzzle Party, in which you can actually unlock that minigame after when you actually get that. Probably the most toughest way to actually unlock that particular minigame. By doing so is the fact that you need to actually get all the way up to 1,000 coins via the Game Guide minigames departments on the free play mode. Unfortunately though, I still haven't unlocked that minigame yet, because obviously, judging by the fact that how the Game Guide minigames are basically luck based, then you actually kind of think about it. But even then though, that unfortunately I haven't got a chance to unlock the minigame itself though, sadly. But still, sometimes, you know, sometimes it's quite hard to actually 100% it though sometimes. Even though the only game I actually did manage to complete 100% it though, it was Mario Party Island Tour so far. And I'm assuming I was going to be trying to complete Mario Party 7 sometime. Even then though, I need to actually just to look up on my memory card file slots to see if I actually unlock everything, which can be far from potential. So anyway though, so yeah, for Mario's Puzzle Party, Mario Party DS counterpart is that it basically functions the same thing as it does for Mario Party 3 counterparts, but except the notable difference is that there was actually well, it's obviously a Nintendo DS limitations. Even then though, there's no Lakitu hovering around, even for more likely standard points, and also no clouds has been moving from the foreground. So even then though, that's probably because they actually just let the entire environment itself, it can be a bit more stilted at points. But anyway, so as you expected, much like in any other Mario Party puzzle minigames of the past, even for future's sake, that as soon as you actually get yourself a ton of points, even for most combos you can perform, then you move on to the next level, which is specifically, if you move on into the different parts of the level, then you can actually just to get yourself a different amount of speed of these pieces, they'll come down. So yeah, as far as memories goes, for Mario's Puzzle Party anyway, it plays exactly like how it reminds me like I was playing Mario Party 3 version again, but except you can actually take control of the D-pad as opposed to the analog control from the Nintendo 64 control stick, which that's probably most likely how this goes. What's really insane about this, I find though anyway, is that if you're actually trying to constantly pressing the D-pad down, that I'm actually constantly find myself actually getting some bunch of combos that I've seemed to always encounter from my own time, even for when these bunch of blocks that are coming down from it, which that might be kind of true for this little situation, because even then, that since I was quite good at with these puzzle type mini games, even then I'm always quite good with Tetris Snow stuff. Even then, it's probably because I'm really good when it comes to you know, Tetris-y stuff. So, oh wow, looks like I'm getting quite progressively into this little combo reactions, which is quite amusing though, really. So yeah, so basically that you know, the puzzle collection mode you get in Mario Party DS, they are more likely the only N64 installment of Mario Party game. Mario Party 3 did have a puzzle minigame returning from this game. And then there's also the most of them, mainly Bobomb Breakers, Peace Out, Blockstone, Stick and Spin, the Mario Party 4, 5, and 6, and 7, which are basically the GameCube era, which means it's more likely the GameCube puzzle minigames, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, wow, I'm doing really good at this point in time, but even then, that because of that, too many combos I usually perform, as you expected from the other Tetris games, even for the party games and something like that. As soon as the blocks are entirely full up, then you'll pretty much be ended with the game. New record. It consists of 4,108 points. That's quite a lot for the points and value I've actually got, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I'm actually kind of glad that how this minigame actually managed to come about. Anyways, next up is Bobomb Breakers. Connect 3 or more of the similar block type to clear them. Fully surround a Bobomb to blow it up and obliterate all surrounding blocks. So yeah, it's a bit like how it does in Mario Party 4 version. If you surround a Bobomb with other blocks, it will explode, removing all the blocks around it. Use this power strategically. So yeah, the pretty much noticeable difference was between the Mario Party 4 version of Bobomb Breakers is the fact that obviously, since this is the Nintendo DS version of the particular minigame itself, and also that the cogs in the background doesn't actually move. But another noticeable thing here is the fact that obviously you're doing this by yourself, and also that you can't actually do this minigame without you can't play this minigame with these opponents, even for a special endurance time. And also that if you couldn't tell on the far right of the screen, there's actually a little light blue gauge, which what this does is that it will actually slowly drains the meter down, which if it comes towards the yellow arrows at one point, it will actually just slowly start to shrink the size a little bit when it comes to this little the display or something. So yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning though, but anyway. Now, at some points throughout, that I'm pretty sure that there's another puzzle minigame which is only exclusive to Mario Party DS, but I'll get into that later. But even at that, I digress though. So yeah, so with that, you remember when I tried to sort of talk about the Yooka-Laylee, which is basically somewhat spiritual, I don't know, something more likely similar to Banjo-Kazooie type game. Even then, though, until 2017, that the reason I was decided to celebrate the Yooka-Laylee minigame, or no, not minigame, the actual game of Yooka-Laylee for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and even Nintendo Switch, and I think also the PC version as well, which I'm assuming that what this is going to happen. But yeah, I found out that the Wii U version has actually got cancelled due to the fact there are some technical difficulties or technical, you know, difficulties with the Wii U version throughout, and I did not meant to do that, but even then, that's why I'm going to be briefly showcased for that. So, yeah, unfortunately, I only have like a shorter amount of points. 2044. I believe my high score on this particular minigame, oh, that's really rather low. My new record for this minigame is 5,761, in case if you probably can tell. Yeah, that's Bobomb Breakers from Mario Party 4. Pretty much, I think out of all the puzzle minigames in the Mario Party series has to offer, I think Bobomb Breakers will have to be one of their favorite puzzle minigames in the entire series. Next up, Peace Out for Mario Party 5. Grab the pieces on the conveyor belts that help you fully fill your field. Put any of the I missed that out. line up pieces of the same color to score more points. Keep an eye on the remaining time and think about how the pieces best fit together. So basically it plays exactly like how it does in Mario Party 5 version of this piece out minigame, but except the noticeable difference is that obviously you're doing this by yourself, which is pretty noticeable, and also no opponent to face off against. But instead it was actually based off of how much points you're actually going to reach up into, so yeah. And speaking of Mario Party 5 though, by the way, is that every time when you actually go into these every types of minigames you're actually going to be come across into the puzzle mode, you're actually going to be hearing this little, I'll actually listen to actually briefly for a moment until whenever you probably heard of something, there's something more peculiar or very familiar with some situation where this music has been playing. It almost kind of reminds me like almost identical to Mario Party 5 version of this particular little technology themed minigame type. But even then though, that's all I can muster think of. Although I will let you guys listen to it, if you guys should probably be familiar with this particular music has been playing. But even then though, it plays every single time when you play every single puzzle minigames in the puzzle mode. So even then though, I'll be quiet for a few moments until when I actually let you guys listen to this music briefly. So yeah, that's all I can mention that. And also judging the fact that in the beginning part is actually a little bit more similar too. But even then it's because of the DS limitations and rather than just be on the actual disc itself. But even then this makes perfect more doubt for it, because even then DS game cartridges all usually comes from DS game cards. So yeah, that's pretty standard stuff. So another thing is worth mentioning though is that obviously since I was going to be actually trying to make this Let's Play done until when it's like, you know, until the very end of 2016 actually, because even then though that I will miss 2016 every time when we actually go slowly approaching towards it, which can be far from the potential for that little retrospect. But anyway, and another thing is worth knowing for anyway is the fact that recently I've managed to come back watching Sonic Boom again, even for Season 2. I haven't watched Sonic Boom Season 2 for quite some time now, because even then, mainly due to the fact that I was quite familiar with specific shows nowadays, which is actually, I'm actually coming back of watching the Pokemon anime. Even then though, that's unfortunately though, due to the some little bit of a release date delays, but even then though, I had to just wait for some time because of that. I recently played a bit of on Pokemon Moon recently, and I've actually quite enjoyed it actually so far. But even then though, that I'm actually trying to catch all the Pokemon as soon as I possibly can. There's also I managed to get myself a mystery gift as well, which I usually gets when the game is actually available to it. But even then though, that yeah, there's no point for actually grabbing that. So yeah, what you can do for this minigame right here is that you can actually just place the corresponding color blocks until you actually come to realize that if you actually just place a certain amount of color blocks, even for the corresponding ones, attached together, that way you can actually get yourself a ton of bigger points. Eventually in the later levels how this minigame offers, sometimes you'll actually give out some different shapes compared to how it does in Mario Party 5 version. So basically you can actually just I shouldn't place that there to begin with, but anyway, sometimes you actually ended up getting this little blocks that contains like somewhat similar to how it does it for the Tetris blocks, like usually just very familiar with the these familiar shapes, including the likes of the 3 blocks as well. Even then though, and there's also the likes of the devilish type of eyes, which what these eyes can probably do is that if I briefly demonstrate this to you at the moment, assuming if I actually get some ton of points first, yeah, as you can tell, that if you somehow immediately, if you're trying to grab this piece to begin with, then something actually changes every time when you're actually trying to grab the blocks that it has some really weird eyes. But even then, that's mainly due to the fact that you're actually going to be come across into this particular point where, you know, some situations more likely just to be more accuracy when it comes to doing with that. But anyway, I guess not much else I can think about at the moment. But even then, yeah. apologize for a little bit of a weird voice that's been going on. It's mostly because I was a little bit too quiet for my liking, but I think it's mostly because I think my friend Joel and even Twilight Sparkle, Rarity, and the main ponies, etc., including my girlfriend, or in this case my boyfriend, Sonic the Hedgehog, they somehow feels a bit sleepy at the moment, so I need to keep my voice down for a moment. But that's just the only time I'm actually going to be doing for the sake of this recording session. But until then, until the next video, I'm actually going to be just trying to actually get the, you know, trying to get my voice up a bit for a bit more. But anyway, this is the minigame. I always get myself some crap ton of points for this disposal at the moment right now, because not to mention if you're actually trying to put these correct spelling colors into this little combination of different things, then you probably can tell that you can actually get a whole lot more points than you actually kind of think about it. And as a result, though, that you can actually just manage to have some fun with this minigame all by yourself. As a matter of fact, that even though granted it doesn't have an online leaderboards or anything like that, even until that especially noticeable, there's no Miiverse support. Although there is technically Miiverse support in the Wii U's Virtual Console re-release version, technically speaking, so I thought it was worth mentioning for that part. But still, sometimes that back in the day anyway, that oh god, I was too late to get that red block to begin with. Ah, darn it. Anyway, darn it. I think I might actually just risk it. Oh, wait. Oh, this might be good. Oh, wow. That's quite a lot, actually. And I think I managed to pass my previous record. Yeah, my previous record on that minigame was actually 19,100. So I think this might actually be, out of all the minigames I'm actually going to be coming across into, I think at this point in time, if you probably couldn't tell already, that I'm almost getting close to the 100,000 points, which is quite a lot for this minigame has to offer. I know for the fact there's some staff best records do make a return from this particular title, because even though nowadays that although I don't think it does have it in Mario Party 10 and even in Star Rush, but even then during Mario Party 9 and Mario Party Island Tour's Time Attack mode, that actually has a staff best. But even then, that if you're trying to actually test for the just trying to do your best to actually just to be one of the records that is usually based off of from. So yeah, and as you can see, I reached up to 100,000 points. Even then though, that again, quite a lot of value though. But in any of that digress though. So yeah, and the reason why that that, as I mentioned earlier about the ukulele, which was essentially you know, the game that is somewhat similar to Banjo-Kazooie, but even then though, the reason why they decided to actually move on to a different Nintendo console, which is Nintendo Switch, as opposed to Nintendo Wii U, because of due to the technical difficulties of the Wii U version. I think I already mentioned this before, haven't I? But basically what happens is that there is no way that I think that the Wii U version of Yooka-Laylee we're about to come on the Wii U now, because I'm presuming it's cancelled due to that. But I'm presuming it will actually come into Nintendo Switch instead, which I don't have a problem with, actually, honestly, because even then, that, yeah, new record, it consists of 103,158. Blimey, heck. So yeah, in order to actually, you know, to get the, you know, the highest amount of scores, I highly recommend you actually trying to combine the color blocks as much as you can, and that way you can get a ton of points. Okay, connect 5 or more blocks of the same color to clear them. You have to clear a certain number of blocks containing a star icon to finish a level. Clear the clock-shaped block to gain more time. Use this strategically. So, here we have Block Star for Mario Party 6. Even then, the noticeable difference was between Mario Party 6 version as opposed to this particular version is that obviously the DS quality, and also judging by the fact that how I don't think there's any wings to actually just to swing about, unlike in Mario Party 6 version. And then in Mario Party 6 version, that one of the character models, in particular that being that minigame back in Mario Party 6, is the fact that you can see the character standing on top of the time limit, which much like any other minigames, most likely Mario Peace Out from this particular version. And I don't think Mario Party 4 and 3 minigames based off from the DS version. But much like in Peace Out, if you get your time out, then that's how the minigame actually ended. So yeah, that's all I can imagine there. So yeah, what this minigame does is that it plays exactly like in Mario Party 6. All you have to do is pretty simple. We have to actually just drag these blocks and then trying to connect them into the star icon. So yeah, that's all you're literally trying to do in this minigame entirely. So yeah, that's all. You probably should know this by now. I found this minigame to be kind of tough to actually get 500 points from, because one of those specific challenges you get from the board features, and basically that what happens is that sometimes I accidentally just let the time go dragged, or in this case get the timer run out way too quickly, even for fast reaction timing. And also judging by the fact that I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to do to actually scroll the screen and onwards, because I wasn't really too much of attention to how the controls work. So even then, I need to actually pay attention until when I revisit to this minigame in my own time, especially for my DS cartridge version for that as well. So yeah, if you probably can tell, if you want to actually just increase your time, you can either clear the level, or you can actually clear out the clock-shaped blocks. So even then, though, as soon as you've done that, then you can actually hopefully you can get some more time to actually provide doing that. So yeah, it's pretty simple. And I believe in order to get the one of the board features that you probably can get from this minigame in time, that means you can actually just reach up to, again, 500 points, which I found is kind of tough to do. Sometimes that, because of my strategy, doesn't seem to be acting quite fast and all that, because of the, you know, really fast reaction timing I have to deal with. But even though still, I got about 210 points so far, which is pretty average. But even then, though, that's this is a one puzzle minigame I found is kind of a little bit tough to actually get a reward from, at least from my personal opinion for that anyway, because sometimes I wasn't exactly way too fast, and also I don't think I'm actually going to be getting the next reward for doing so. I think in order to get these points though, I think you need to actually complete the level itself. It's not just a matter of trying to get cleared these star blocks as far as I'm concerned. And I believe back in Mario Party 6 though, that in order to actually unlock this minigame is that you have to spend, I'm assuming, 30 stars in the star bank. So I've been consuming that what this is going on for this, in this case, for that anyway. Unfortunately, I've run out of time, so even then though, I've got about 10 seconds, so that means we're about to move on into the last minigame in this particular mode. Now we have to be stick and spin for Mario Party 7. But yeah, oh wow, I didn't manage to make that in nick of time. Okay. I wasn't paying attention though, but that's just how it is from my circumstances. But anyway. Okay, so I've got about 6 star blocks left. So yeah, if you manage to get rid of all these star blocks and all that kinds of stuff, you move on to the next level, and that's all you're literally trying to do throughout. So yeah. Cool stuff, I suppose. So yeah, oh great, I don't think I've got some time left now. No, I don't think so, because although another noticeable thing you actually get the minigame over is the fact that I think there are actually 2 different methods to actually let the minigame over. New record, 280 points. Not bad. Not bad for its own little new record situation, but it could be done a little bit slightly better. At least from my personal preference of it anyway. Alright, now we move on into the last, nostalgic, classic Mario Party puzzle minigame involved, and as I mentioned earlier, will have to be stick and spin. So, yeah, that's all I can mention now to actually just to notice by it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to stick and spin. From Mario Party 7, obviously, because that's where it usually comes from. So, originally, anyway. Rotate the cylinder to clear balls by connecting 5 or more of the same color. You have to clear a certain number of balls to clear a level. Okay, seems very standard, somewhat similar. If 10 or more balls stick out past the outer blue ring, the game will end after 2 seconds, so be careful. So Yeah, it plays exactly like how it does in the Mario Party 7 version with this minigame, but except it's obviously on Nintendo DS, obviously. And, I'm also actually just noticed by the fact that how, back in whenever although granted, back in 2007 when Sonic managed to actually got this game back in Christmas 2007, that he did not actually encounter Mario's Puzzle Party at first in Mario Party 3 though. But even then though, that we managed to look on research, that we found out that Mario's Puzzle Party was actually on Mario Party 3. So yeah, kind of a worth knowing from that little flashback of any sort of kind. But anyway, so as far as you probably guys can see, that it kind of sort of somewhat similar to Blockstar, but except the noticeable difference is that obviously we're not going to be connecting throughout the star itself. Instead, we have to connect those specific orbs or balls even that to actually move on to the next level. And basically, if you can see this little indicator number on the center of the little wheel, this means is that you need to actually get some chain reaction, or in this case, just touch those pieces in one. So even then though, like for instance, if I get a 5 combo, this means I actually subtract 5 number of things in the during the center, and if I actually connect 6, as you can see right here, this means the number will actually subtract 6, and then it'll just turn into 4. And then if I connected 4 of the exact same color, even though it needs to be 5, 5 combo, what have you, in order to actually do this, because with 4, you're pretty much going to be expecting you'll be moving on to the next level. So in order to actually get the next board feature of the little collectibles, if there's one thing I need to actually just to briefly mention until later, that way you need to actually get all the way up to 1000 points, which, much like Blockstar, however, I don't know if it's exactly, this might be a kind of thing I'm actually trying to pull off. But even then so, I'm pretty sure out of all the puzzle minigames I managed to come across into, I think the Blockstar one would have to be the hardest one of the bunch to get the collectible sake, because obviously, judging on how the timer itself is actually a little bit too strict for my taste. But even then though, that's all I can really mention it to for that little situations and all that. And also, that one thing I haven't mentioned this to you guys is that tomorrow, after when this Let's Play will be over until during today, that Super Mario Run will be about to be released on the iOS devices, except for the Android version, although Android version will be on its way during into 2017. But as far as at the moment, the iOS version on Super Mario Run will be released tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to this particular title. Even then, I've heard a lot of I've heard there's some quite coolest things about the Super Mario Run, how the game offers. Although you still need to pay like £10 in order to actually just to get this game, or in this case, $10 in USA. But even then, though, still, it was originally going to be a free game to begin with, but it turns out it was actually just a payment game rather than just, you know. But I'm still looking forward to that game until tomorrow. As a matter of fact, though, it might be a perfect timing for me to actually just try to get that game tomorrow, because after all, well, I'm pretty sure that Duffy might actually go ahead and do a comeback of doing his continuation of his redo playthrough on the new Super Luigi U. So even then, once that Let's Play is particularly done, this might actually be very familiar. As you progress through the level in this particular minigame, the outer circle line right here will actually go a bit too small this time. So even then, and also some additional balls that I'm actually just put in this time. So that's all there is to it when it comes to this minigame entirely. So and as you expected, if you actually just make your balls go all the way up to the top of the conveyor belt, the minigame is pretty much over. So it's not like it's all time based, unlike Blockstar or even Peace-Out for that matter. So yeah, as far as the puzzle collection in Mario Party DS is concerned, I actually really like it, because usually speaking, that it reminds me so much if I was going back into the past Mario Party mini-games, as far as the puzzle ones anyway, going back to the past to see how any nostalgic I actually found out for the those types of mini-games of how they usually displayed on the DS hardware. Well, /3DS, but that's besides the point. Oh god, I almost got a full up on that particular time. But yeah, in order to actually just get these balls go down quicker is the fact that you need to actually press the A button. That's all you do. But then, after realizing that, is that if you actually move on to the progressively into each of a level, you probably notice something, those balls will actually go down quite significantly. So even then though, that you might actually try to figure this out, that we need to keep an eye on it. So just in case you don't want to let your the outer circle thing will actually fill up. So that's all I can really must think of. So at this point in time, folks, that I don't know if I was going to be doing or if we can do a redo playthroughs on Mario Party 3, Mario Party 1, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. But for the time's sake of being in, I hate to tell you this, but I don't think that's going to happen, because even though it might take a bit of a long processing to deal with, and also judging by the fact there are some bunch of new Let's Plays that are about to come. And despite there are some bit of lack of views on that particular previous Mario Party Let's Plays, but I think apart from those sides of things, they are progressively, in this case, it will increase by a lot, by a long shot. So at this point in time, though, that we actually did manage to done 12 of the Mario Party games, although there's only one exception we're not going to be tackling though, and that was Mario Party Fans, because that game sucks crap. But, you know. But, unless though, that's it, again, during 2017, that Mario Party Star Rush should be on its way as far as the Let's Play is concerned, that we may be looking forward to that. I'm sure many people already may be looking forward to it as well, including some of the fans of our YouTube channel as far as at this point in time, but you guys may be looking forward to it. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned from that. But yeah, if you probably see this little flashing little alarm light, this means is that your, you know, outer circular parts will actually go all the way up to the top. So, yeah, that's all there usually goes. My record of it so far was actually, well, 610. Not bad, but hey. Okay, so that's that mode out of the way. I really do like this mode, actually, because there's so much, brings me back so much more memories. So anyways, now we move on to the second mode of puzzle mode, and that was the, you know,